for Music Poland. We are here with amazing Andy James, who has the accuracy of picking of Paul Gilbert. He has the raw and aggressive vibrato of Zakk Wylde, and great melodic feel for arpeggios of Steve Vai. Yeah, that's you. Hi.
Hi, how's it going?
It's great. How have you been enjoying the show so far?
Yeah, it's been good, man. I mean, it's been crazy busy today, but yes, it's really good. I mean, it's different. I've never been to Frankfurt before, so it's a good experience to come here and check out the show. And
did you have a chance to see the town, the city?
Yeah, a couple of bars.
That's good. Good beer.
Good beer. Yeah, really good beer actually. Good beer, good Jaeger, and good Jack Daniels.
Better than in England?
Well, I don't know. I think Jaeger and Jack Daniels is the same wherever you go, isn't it?
I'll ask about beer.
Oh, the beer. Yeah, the beer's great. Like, I don't have Kronenberg though.
Oh, it's a shame. Can you tell us something about your beginnings as a guitar player? When did you start, and why did you start playing guitar?
I started when I was 12, and then I got into like Guns N' Roses and Slash and all that, and then like you say, I got into sort of Ozzy, Zakk Wylde, that kind of stuff. And I don't know, man. I just got into loads of different players progressively, and then just started to kind of build technique up. When I started focusing on more technical stuff when I got into like Satriani and and instrumental songwriting and all that kind of stuff, because I was only interested in guitar players that played in bands. So when I started getting into instrumental music, that's kind of, I thought, yeah, that's more what I would like to do. I think as I get older and as I start playing. But I mean, I play in a band as well, but I like doing the instrumental thing. It gets me out to places like this and meet people and stuff.
Yeah, and what would you consider as your break? When your career started rolling, when you started being recognized in television and the internet?
Well, I mean, apart from a few YouTube videos that I did ages ago, Lick Library, I mean, doing the teaching for them and, the kind of learn to play different artists and band stuff.
How did you get that job?
Well, Jamie Humphries from Black Star, and he was working them for a while, and I got involved with Ernie Ball Guitars a while ago, and through that we became friends, and I think a job just came up and he said, look, do you want to come in and film some stuff? And I was like, yeah, okay. I mean, I didn't think I'd be any good at it, I just sort of sat there and went, play this, and they liked it and they kept me on, and that was sort of 5 years ago, 5-6 years ago, something like that. Yeah, it's been good, it's been great for, exposure and internet and all that kind of stuff. And
do you enjoy teaching?
Yeah, I mean, I've never really considered myself a good teacher, which is weird.
Well, you are.
No, yeah, but the thing is, because the trouble is I'm not very technically minded. I'll just sit down and have.
Not? Come on.
Not really. Not like theory and stuff. I just kind of chill out, play. If anyone's ever come around my house for lessons or whatever, we just sit and probably have a beer and just go, right, let's have a jam for a bit. You play something, I'll play something. I don't know really. It's just
you're actually very technically skilled. I mean, you play amazing stuff and you are very accurate at that. Yeah. And when looking at you in Lick Library, you really have something inside you that makes people want to look at you and grasp all the knowledge that you are passing to them, and it's great in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, I mean, whenever I try and teach something, I mean, I was just going to say that. I try and keep it simple. Like Paul Gilbert, right? His lessons are always really kind of basic, and I mean, the content's not basic. Obviously, it's really hard, but the way he kind of approaches things and explains things, out of everybody else that I ever learned anything off, through videos or whatever, that was kind of the best stuff for me. Because I thought actually this kind of makes sense. And whenever I try and teach anything, I'll try and make it so it's sort of easier to understand maybe the concept of what I'm trying to explain or something, because once you start kind of going, oh well, this is a G Ionian scale, or it's going on about modes and stuff, which I don't know, it's kind of important, but it's not at the same time. You should use your ear and figure stuff out, because it becomes really confusing, and I'm just not like a theory kind of mind. I like to just use my ear and navigate my way through things, and I don't know. And I use my ear to sort of get my technique a bit better. You know, if I can hear it's not clean enough, then I'll just work on it. You know, that's kind of how I've developed.
That's what makes you great. Okay, and tell me, what do you do musically now? I know that you have recently recorded an album. How is it going?
Yeah, it's going alright. I mean, the last solo album I did came out in July last year, and yeah, it's been going good. I mean, I've been doing clinics, you know, playing. People seem to really like the album. I did it properly this time. I did it with a friend of mine called Scott, and he's like a producer and stuff. Anyway, we've been talking about doing an album since we did the first Sacred Mother Tongue album. He did that as well. And yeah, we thought it'd be cool just in like downtime when he wasn't working or anything, just to put an album together, you know, because he likes Tony McAlpine and things like that, you know. And he was like, "Oh, we should do an album together." So we did, and we put it out, and it's going alright.
And which do you prefer, playing in a band or being a solo artist?
Well, I much prefer playing in a band because it's with like 3 other guys, and you know, we get on great as a band, and I think we really work well together, you know, as musicians. And it's always like about a good vibe when you play with other musicians and live. You know, when I do things like this, it's when we do things like this, I don't know. I try and get into it, you know what I mean. But it kind of, you've got so many other things going on, and it's hard to get into the vibe of what you're doing. So it almost makes it more difficult. But yeah, I mean, I haven't really done any solo gigs with a band. I've only done a couple, and one of them was like the Jason Becker Festival in Amsterdam last year, and that was really cool. Got to play with Atma and on drums, Duke Waters on guitar, and Baron on bass. And yeah, it was cool because Baron, the bass player, he's got like a place out in Amsterdam, which is like a kind of really big sort of house, and he had like a rehearsal studio in there and everything. So it was great. But yeah, we played a few tunes and stuff, and it was like a tribute to Jason Becker. So.
Okay, and can you give, you know, young guitar players some advice for the beginnings or for, you know, development of guitar playing? What should they do? What is best to become like you?
I don't know, man. It's such a difficult question because, I mean, for me, I just sat in my room at home, or you know, in my bedroom in my mum and dad's house or wherever, just literally playing. You know, not really practicing to a metronome or anything. You know, it was never regimented. You know, I guess I just played, and it just kind of progressed. But you know, I used to play a lot, and that's all you can do. You know, practice. I mean, the only thing I will say is don't play something that you don't like. You know, if you're not into metal, don't play metal. If you're not into blues, then don't play blues, you know. But I would say still expose yourself to those styles of music because it will still enhance the music that you do like. But having said that, you know, I mean, I'm not one of these guitar players that's a jack of all trades, you know. I don't really play country, and I don't have that in my playing, kind of because I'm not really that into that style of music, you know, as much as say, you know, rock and metal. So I mean, I literally just stick with what I know, you know. You know, you got players like you know, Guthrie Govan and you know, players like Tom Quayle and stuff. You know, they're really great at doing different styles. You know, like jazz, rock, you know, fusion, and you know, playing like picking and all that kind of stuff. And it makes them great guitar players. And but for me, I guess because I've always just done rock and metal, that's kind of what I'm kind of good at. You know, and I'm comfortable with that. I mean, I can play blues and stuff, but I don't really get a lot of chance to play that sort of thing because I'm always shredding. So,
okay, thank you for that. It was a big pleasure. Andy James, thanks.